There were no letters today. Nothing by her window, no knock at the front door. It had been months. Isabella had begun to grow restless, an unfamiliar ache of longing and sorrow filling her heart as she waited by her window for a glimpse of him in the field, behind a tree, or anywhere in sight. Come down. The food is getting cold, her younger sister, Elowen, called out impatiently. In a minute, Win. Her fingers curled around his old letter, slightly crumpling the edges. 2 summers ago, Isabella had been running off to plain grass fields whenever her mother would leave for town. She'd mutter a simple excuse to her sister before jumping out the window with a lively grin, hand in hand with the boy she'd accidentally met on a morning walk sometime around spring. The burning ache of her legs numbed in comparison to the thrill she'd felt exploring places she hadn't known existed. Jessie had shown her the world in a way she'd never seen before. Her days were spent indulging in new things and discovering hidden places, all with the one boy that felt like home. With him, she felt like she belonged. But now she wasn't even certain she'd met him entirely. After he'd unwillingly left for France, his letters became less frequent. There were no visits by her window anymore, no daring endeavors, no late-night walks through the meadow. She could barely remember what his hands felt like in hers, how his whispers sounded in the quiet of the night. On particularly gloomy days like this one, she'd often find herself wondering how Jessie was, where he was. Did he still enjoy tea there in France as he did here? Would he remember days when they'd sit together trying all sorts of new blends? Isabella desperately clung on to the memories that were beginning to fade into the back of her mind, threatening to become long-forgotten fragments of her life. The idea of forgetting something, someone, so real filled her with newfound dread. Did he like lilies or hyacinths more? She couldn't recall. Her mind was weary. Weary from the constant oppression to remember every part of him she had grown to know, exhausted from living in an endless cycle of longing for things not meant to be hers. Her thoughts gnawed at her, chewed on the last bit of rational thought, till she could barely differentiate what had truly happened and what she'd convinced herself to believe had happened. Her thoughts were spiraling her down a path of despair, not knowing anything other than the desperation clawing at her heart, the yearning desire to keep any bit of him for herself. It was sweet torture bottled in labels of depression and insanity. She could hardly believe herself. She was not insane. Was she? Was it what people so easily claimed it to be? Heartache? Obsession? Could something so complex be reduced to a few simple words? Perhaps so. Or not. She could not be anything but perfectly fine. Her mother and sister willed it so. There was no room for cracks. With her mother's continual 6.